Welcome, movie lovers. Ever wondered how far a family can go to escape poverty? Parasite takes you on a thrilling ride through the hidden cracks of society. Stay tuned as we unravel the gripping story of the Kims and the Parks. If you enjoy movie recaps and reviews, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below with your thoughts on Parasite and which movies you'd like to see next. Let's dive right in. In a small semi-basement apartment in Seoul, the Kim family struggles to survive. The family includes father Ki-taek, mother Chung-suk, daughter Ki-jung, and son Ki-woo. They earn a meager wage folding pizza boxes and have to resort to stealing Wi-Fi and using the fumigator's poison smoke to kill bugs in their apartment, even though they end up breathing it in too. One evening, Ki-woo's friend Min-hyuk visits and brings a scholar's rock from his grandfather's collection, which is meant to bring wealth. He also offers Ki-woo a tutoring job for a rich family since Min-hyuk is traveling abroad. Ki-woo, who knows English well from his military service and multiple attempts at the university entrance exam, decides to take the job. His sister Ki-jung fakes university papers for him, knowing the employers won't look closely at them. Wearing his best clothes and armed with a forged document, Ki-woo goes to the Park family's house in a fancy part of the city. The housekeeper, Moon Gwang, lets him in, and he is interviewed by Choi Yeon-jo, also known as Mrs. Park. As expected, she barely glances at the documents and trusts Min-hyuk's recommendation. However, she insists on observing the first lesson to ensure Ki-woo is suitable. Ki-woo is to tutor their daughter, Da-hae, who initially appears shy and startled when Ki-woo gently grabs her wrist to comfort her during a difficult exercise. She soon warms up to him, and Mrs. Park, pleased with what she sees, decides to hire Ki-woo and pay him well. After the first lesson, Ki-woo meets Da-hae's younger brother, Da-song, who is obsessed with playing Indians and has joined the Scouts. Ki-woo, a former scout, shows understanding. When Mrs. Park shows Ki-woo Da-song's drawings, he seizes an opportunity. He praises the drawings as masterpieces, and mentions the need for an art teacher, suggesting his cousin's classmate Jessica, a highly qualified art therapist. In reality, he refers to his sister, Ki-jung, who reads up on art therapy and psychology to prepare for her interview as Jessica. The next day, Ki-jung, posing as Jessica, impresses Mrs. Park and convinces her to let Da-song have his first art lesson alone. By the end of the lesson, Ki-jung demonstrates how well-behaved Da-song is under her guidance and points out signs of trauma in his drawings, referencing an incident from first grade. Convinced of Da-song's need for art therapy, Mrs. Park hires Ki-jung with an excellent salary. Later, Ki-jung meets Mr. Park, who offers her a ride home. To maintain their deception, Ki-jung insists on being dropped off at a train station, feigning residence in a better neighborhood. During the ride, she hides her panties in the car. With their children's new salaries, Kim family starts living better and plotting their next move. Mr. Park finds the panties and suspects his driver, Yoon, of inappropriate behavior and drug use. Seizing the opportunity, Ki-jung implies to Mrs. Park that Yoon tried to take her home instead of the station. Mrs. Park decides to fire Yoon discreetly to avoid scandal and takes Ki-jung's advice to hire a mature, trustworthy driver. Ki-jung recommends her uncle's old driver, who is actually Ki-taek. During a test drive, Mr. Park is impressed by Ki-taek's manners and city knowledge, hiring him on the spot. The final phase of their plan involves ousting the housekeeper, Moon Gwang, who has been with the house since the previous owners. Learning that Moon Gwang is allergic to peaches, Ki-woo and Ki-jung secretly expose her to peach fuzz. Moon Gwang visits a doctor, suspecting it's not allergies, and Ki-taek takes a selfie with her in the background. He later shows the photo to Mrs. Park, claiming he overheard Moon Gwang has tuberculosis. When Moon Gwang coughs due to allergies, Ki-taek stages a bloody tissue to convince Mrs. Park. Horrified at having a sick employee, Mrs. Park secretly fires Moon Gwang, and Mr. Park believes she quit. Needing a new housekeeper, Mr. Park gets a recommendation from Ki-taek for a prestigious agency, which is another ruse by the Kims. Ki-jung poses as the agency's secretary, and Chung-suk is hired as the new housekeeper, completing the infiltration of the Park household. Da-song notices a shared smell among the Kims, realizing it's not the soap but the scent of their old, cheap apartment. One day, the Parks leave for a camping trip, putting Chung-suk in charge of the house. Kims move in temporarily, indulging in the luxurious space, food, and wine. Ki-woo reads Da-hae's diary, planning to propose when she enters university. During a stormy dinner, the doorbell rings. It's Moon Gwang, claiming she forgot something in the basement. While the Kims hide, Chung-suk lets her in. Moon Gwang reveals a hidden bunker behind a cupboard, where her husband, Gun-se, has been hiding from loan sharks for years. She sneaked food to him, explaining why Mr. Park thought she ate too much. Moon-gwang asks Chung-suk to let her husband stay in exchange for money. Chung-suk refuses and threatens to call the police. The Kims are discovered while spying, and Moon-gwang records them, threatening to expose their deception. The situation escalates as Moon-gwang and Gun-se force the Kims into submission, taking over the house. They berate the Kims for their mess, contrasting it with their own respect for the house's artful design. During a speech by Moon-gwang, the Kims seize the moment to overpower the couple. Ki-taek restrains Jin-se, Ki-jun uses peaches to incapacitate Moon-gwang, and Ki-woo deletes the incriminating video. The house phone rings. Mrs. Park announces their early return due to the storm. The Kims scramble to clean and hide Moon-gwang and Jin-se in the bunker, then hide themselves under a table. The Parks arrive, and the parents sleep in the living room to watch over Da-song, who sleeps in a tent outside. Ki-taek overhears them talking, revealing their disdain for his smell, and their view of employees as simple-minded. The Kims are stuck for hours until the Parks fall asleep, allowing them to escape. Chung-suk accidentally pushes Moon-gwang down the stairs, causing her to bleed. The Kims leave, with Ki-woo carrying the Scholar's Rock for luck. Returning to their flooded apartment, the Kims salvage a few items and join others at an evacuation shelter. Ki-woo shares his dream of marrying Da-hai and buying the Park house, while Ki-taek remains silent. The next morning, Mrs. Park calls the Kims to prepare a party for Da-song. During errands, Ki-taek drives Mrs. Park, who happily chats about their luck with the weather. At the party, Ki-woo takes the Scholar's Rock to the bunker, encountering Gun-se, who attacks him with the rock. Gun-se, now deranged from grief, takes a knife and heads to the garden, where Ki-taek and Mr. Park plan to surprise Da-song. Jun-se stabs Ki-jung, causing Da-song to have a seizure. Ki-taek rushes to his daughter, while Mrs. Park helps her son and asks Mr. Park to get the car keys. Ki-taek and Gun-se fight, and Chung-suk kills Gun-se with a skewer. Mr. Park grabs the keys, but his reaction to Gun-se's smell pushes Ki-taek over the edge. He stabs Mr. Park and flees. Ki-woo wakes in the hospital, learning that his sister died, his father is missing, and he and his mother receive probation for forgery. Visiting the Park house, now owned by a German family, Ki-woo deciphers a Morse code message from his father, who is hiding in the bunker. Determined, Ki-woo vows to buy the house and reunite the family. Parasite is a masterclass in storytelling, blending humor, suspense, and poignant social commentary. Bong Joon-ho's direction is impeccable, and the screenplay is sharp and engaging. Performances are top-notch, with each actor bringing depth and nuance to their characters. The film's cinematography and production design are also exceptional, creating a stark contrast between the opulence of the Park family and the squalor of the Kim family's existence. The film's exploration of class disparity is both thought-provoking and unsettling, making it a must-watch for anyone interested in contemporary social issues. Parasite is a gripping, unforgettable experience that will leave you questioning the very fabric of society. If you enjoyed this recap and review, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more movie recaps, and leave a comment below with your thoughts on Parasite. Don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified about our latest uploads. As always, thanks for watching and see you on the next video.